Welcome back, everyone, to LCS Challengers. Game number 1 now in the books, and FlyQuest able to take that win. A little bit of a back and forth, though, but hey, it was a good win nonetheless coming out for FlyQuest. I want to bring your attention to something that Surdy had said, one of his personal goals for the season. You know, everyone has the goal of winning NACL and taking the regionals. One of Surdy's personal goals is to not drop a single game in the season. So,
wow.
It's a good start when you're doing it against Team Liquid. You already got the 2-0 earlier from last week.
Yeah, exactly. And they're halfway towards getting another one today as long as they win that next game. And fair enough. I mean, Surdy being that player who we all thought very highly of, especially towards the end of Summer Split in 2023. A player who almost got that LCS chance that we believe deserved it. But, you know, through no fault of his own, now he's back here in Challengers. You got to aim really, really high, especially when you have that high opinion of yourself. So I like to hear it.
He's got a really good team with him, and one of those players I know you want to highlight a little bit is Quad. He looked great. He made some very, very risky plays, but they pulled off.
He did, and honestly, again, like, he's had quite a number of games in the LCKs, a very experienced player coming down here in NACL. So I'm not too surprised to see that from him. It is nice, but I think that's why you see him having that bit of an advantage over Romer, who is less experienced, fresh out of LCK Challengers, coming to North America. And I mean, again, credit where credit is due, but we got to be real, you know? I expect Quad to do this.
I also feel like these are the two mid laners to beat. I know Shochi was talking about it earlier. He was like, man, I wanted to be on one of these teams, but they went for an import instead. And like, I need to show them that I can be better.
I love
like
that.
These guys are the bar. These guys are going to be the tough mid laners for the league.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to agree with that one. It will be really exciting to see some of the native players we have here and how they end up stacking up, like Shochi, Onat, and the like. But until then, it does seem like Romer and Quad are quite good, even though Romer didn't end up taking the win in this first game.
Did not take the win, but the Tristana looked fantastic. The dude's got the hands. He dived Quad repeatedly, pretty much any time he got the chance, Pete.
You know what? I will say, especially from a player who's a little newer, I love that. Aggressive play, solo tower dive. Maybe I'll die, but it should work. I respect that. That's what I like to see from new players.
And speaking of aggressive play, let's put the attention over towards Shaden. Shaden was going full aggro on every single play that he made. There's the one earlier by the Dragon where he kind of went in by himself and just got decimated for it. But then you get the plays later on where he's diving around the Baron buff, and suddenly things are looking completely different when FlyQuest are locked and loaded on the same page.
Right, and I mean, you're waiting for certain item spikes, even though you had a great amount of push in the bottom lane with that Ezreal Karma. Ezreal, we know him as that champ too, needs a little time to get online. And as Shaden built up health with things like the Hydra and things like that, it was easier for him to dive in because A, he could live longer, and B, Sajet had more damage to speak of. A 5-second fight meant something completely different at 5 minutes and then 15 minutes.
And one thing I do want to bring up, since we are talking about Shaden, is one thing I talked about with Kelsey Moser before. She was very happy that Surdy and Shaden are together because Shaden, he tends to get a little bit tilted if he doesn't have a reasonably stable top laner. And Surdy's one of the most stable, so having them as a package deal definitely feels really good for FlyQuest. Now, I want to bring up the draft for Fearless because, as we said, this is Fearless Draft, so champions that one team picks, they cannot pick it in the next game. So Romer's Tristana, FlyQuest don't got to worry about it this time.
That's right, but TLC don't have to worry about the Ezreal Karma, which, I mean, you got to imagine is for the remainder of 14.2, if it's not banned away, the bot lane that we're just going to be tossing back and forth to each other because it's still a very powerful combo right now. Definitely an S-tier bot lane.
I'd rather they toss that bot lane around than just do like Azir Corki mid lane all the time.
Look, Azir is fun because you can do crazy stuff. Corki's the boring one. Get it right.
all right, fine. No, I actually think Corki's kind of fun.
Why?
Wait, yeah.
He's literally just sitting there in his little plane, and I'm not doing this.
Okay. As long as he gets the package, it gets a lot of fun. I just
so okay. You know what? I lied. We're doing this really quick. You're telling me the whole enjoyment of this champion is one thing he can
Just
do
one
every 5 minutes,
Just
past
one
10
thing
minutes.
You can do every 5 minutes. Yes, B.
You're so boring.
Yes.
God damn it, man. So disgusting.
It's also the fact that you can get like crushed in lane and still come back in the late game because Corki is just a load of bull.
That's what that is. Not fun. That's a load of bull. You're not helping yourself.
Okay.
I'm happy to win the argument.
I'm not helping myself. I'm not helping myself. Fine, fine, fine. What champion do you want to see beat coming into this next game? I mean, you already mentioned the Ezreal Karma. I feel like this is going to be something that FlyQuest, at least the Karma, they have to ban away. But is there anything spicy you think might get through?
Spicy? I mean, I have a feeling we'll see a handful of the same champions. I mean, champs like Xin, Ezreal, Karma, Cassante, Bar, like all of these champs. They're really strong.
What about the top side, though? Because in the top side, we had 2 bans.
I hope we don't
Jenkins.
see Aatrox again.
So we had Kennen and Rumble banned away. So if you do want to ban away something like the Karma and whatnot, there might be other bans you need to give up. Jenkins might be enabled a little bit more.
It is possible. We do have that side swap coming through here, and it's worth noting FlyQuest played all 3 of their games last week on red side. And when they had a choice in game 1 and 3, they also chose red side, just like they did here and now. So it seems pretty clear at this point that they really like that side of champ select. And I'm interested to see, especially with those champs you see grayed out and unavailable, what they're going to pull out this time around.
Yeah, a reminder to our audience, the ones that are grayed out for that team. Fearless means you cannot pick that if your team has picked it before. It's still enabled for the other side.
Yeah, pretty much. And I like what, just talking about some of these early bans, Gwen is an interesting one. At least so far this year, you don't really see a lot of Gwen's banned in that first rotation. But I mean, that's immediately like alarm bells like, hey, we want to play Cassante because it's not a good matchup for him.
Yeah, so it does put that into your mind. As well as FlyQuest, they are banning towards Jenkins specifically once again. The Rumble getting taken away. The 3 picks that Surdy had said is his 3 tricks. It's Poppy, Kennen, and Rumble. He believes are the 3 tricks of Jenkins.
I'm offended on Jenkins' behalf that he didn't mention the Warwick.
Right. I would have picked the Warwick over the Poppy, to be honest.
Me too. Like, am I crazy? Did we not see him run people like his teammate Keel down on that champion? I remember that game. It was crazy.
Yeah, the Warwick, can reap havoc all over the Rift in the hands of Jenkins, but we'll see if he is going to play that. Cassante was banned away, as you alluded to a little bit earlier. That Gwen ban was foreshadowing one of those picks. So again, we're just banning away over on the top side. And that Karma, we did not want to see it get through. It is going to get banned away, so that means the Kennen from the last draft is still available.
Yeah, I don't think that's something you're going to want to pick up right away, but that is something to keep your eye on if it makes it through the second rotation bans going forward. But for the moment, I mean, there's still a lot of power picks up. Remember, Kalista was banned pretty consistently, not just this week, but also last week by TLC. So this time around, because it's up and available, they're going to take it for themselves.
This would be an interesting pick to come out here.
He did that at the beginning of last Champ Select. I'm pretty sure it's just like a thing.
Okay.
Maybe.
No, I'm always interested to see some of the more quirky enchanters come through, like Janna, because it has been a good response to some of the more hard engaged bottom lanes that we see. But instead, it is going to be the Ashe, so don't need to harp on that too much. The volley and the slows do put a little bit of extra pressure onto the Kalista.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of I'm already really scared if I'm Spawn, because Kalista hates being slowed because, you know, her move speed is tied with her attack speed. All the hopping, if you've seen the champ, you know what I'm talking about. So Ashe, you just hate yourself when you're playing against it. So I imagine they're trying to set up for that Kalista Renata as a very strong bot lane duo, even in the face of some of these unfortunate AD carry matchups.
Spawn's not gonna have a good time this game. He's not gonna have a good time. These first 2 picks are just saying screw Kalista. Like, you get too close to a Poppy and you have to feel that steadfast presence. The response, however, is going to be pretty strong from the side of Team Liquid. They're going for a little bit of a semi-wombo here as they both grab the Viego and the Nico. I want to see how that draft continues, but some strong team fight to come out of Team Liquid.
Oh man, but it's the Varus Ashe coming through. This is just a disgusting bot lane duo. I'm already very sad on behalf of Spawn and Kimdown, and unless we're cooking something crazy like Nico support, it's not looking good, bro. But Viego is going to be very interesting. Very skirmish heavy. I like it when you pair it with champs like Nico, like Lissandra, something that can guarantee you that first kill so you can start resetting and snowball off of that.
Yeah, it was Maraville last week who took both the Viego, the Nico, and I believe they had a Misfortune alongside with that, and it was one of the most satisfying wombo combos I think I've ever seen in a Dragon Pit. It shows you the potential right there. The big question, as you were saying, is going to be that laning phase and getting through the weight that is going to be both the Ashe and the Varus.
Yeah, and I mean, it's tough. It would have been nice to see something like the Blitzcrank come through a little earlier. This time it gets banned away by FlyQuest. You need a champion like that to try and shake up this bot lane, because right now, like, it's really not looking good. And there's the Kennen that we talked about earlier. Jenkins will not get it.
Yeah, but instead it's Surdy who's going to play the Aatrox this time. So opting into it, this is going to give Jenkins the counter pick, but this also shows that Surdy's pretty confident in this matchup if he's willing to give Jenkins the counter pick at this moment. I mean, you already banned away a lot of those big Jenkins champions.
Right, and I mean, Jenkins himself played the Aatrox last time around, and because the Cassante isn't there, Jenkins can't really try and emulate what was done to him in the previous game. So it's just going to end up being the Udyr, which has become very popular so far in 2024. And, I mean, it's all right. You should have a fine matchup. And at the end of the day, you're just looking for a beefy frontliner to make space for the rest of your comp.
Oh dear, Udyr. And you don't have to worry about the Poppy as well. You know, the Steadfast Presence is going to ruin your day like it is for Spawn.
Yeah.
One more pick to come out. We do have the matchup for the top lane, and Kalista Renata was kind of a classic pairing when Renata first came out. It lets you be very, very aggressive into the bottom lane, so hands are definitely going to be thrown bot side this game, Pete.
Yeah, you could say that again. I'm interested to see how that one plays out. I favor the Varus Ashe because you're just going to get out-damaged and out-poked. There's just going to be small windows for Kimdown to land his CC and try and get that poke damage off, and the hope is that you burst them down. And oh my god, it's actually locked in. This is the first Cassiopeia I have seen this year, and I mean, when you think about the range, still, it's the first. It's interesting because you think about the range that most of this comp plays in, Cassiopeia loves it, and you have a lot of great frontline here, so too early to say, but I like what FlyQuest is cooking right now.
I actually really do like what they're cooking. Petrifying Gaze, look at Spawn. Look how short that range is, as you had just mentioned. You're going to be right next to it, man. A lot of these champions want to go forward as well, such as the Udyr, such as the Viego, so it is a good response. It is a good way to attack this composition Team Liquid have drafted and still give yourself some great scaling on top of that. Of course, Cassiopeia, she doesn't wear shoes, man, so that means you can get extra items, dude.
I mean, you could sell your shoes and also get extra items as a...
She's not allowed to wear shoes. That's the difference.
I mean, the real difference is her passive gives her move speed. But anyways, let's go into game 2,
Why you gotta be technical with me, man?
It's my job!
Yeah, fair. Fellow casters, it's the way they are, man. Game number 2, Team Liquid on the Challengers versus FlyQuest Challengers. And already FlyQuest are gunning it straight for this bottom side. They see Spawn. They want to get his flash early and already knocking him up. Shaden's going to jump in, able to get a good amount of damage in, but not enough to go for the dive. FlyQuest swinging for the fences.
So before I comment on this, I want you to know what I was going to say before this play happened there. And it's that this bot lane is going to be really tough for Spawn and Kimdown. Again, you're looking for small windows to try and burst down this Varus Ashe. And now that your flash is gone, you have to do that walk of shame back to lane. Your lane gets a little bit harder, especially if we see Shaden start on the top side of the map and work his way downward.
Look where he's going. He's over towards that top side, but this is a good response from TL. They realize that this is going to be the scenario, so they start setting up there as well. Ooh, getting a little spicy now, Beat.
I think they want to late invade and try to steal the red buff.
They're going for it.
Yeah, I think surely they wrap around the Raptors. They have all the vision. The question is just going to be,
Here it
can
comes.
Keel get the smite? Oh, they're just sending it.
Surprise! Coming out of the bush, it's gonna
He has
be
no flash.
old man Bob Jenkins. He's slapping this Poppy left and right with no flash. That's gonna be first blood for the top lane.
I gotta say, I love that response. You know, Shaden, one, all of FlyQuest committed to the bot side, and two, Shaden used his flash to try and get the kill onto Spawn. So they punished that beautifully for the invade. Shaden is behind. Keel has 2 camps. Shaden isn't even looking at one yet.
Ooh, a little bit of damage coming out from the bot side as well as they try and punish onto Kim down. I like that. That's that matchup you were talking about, B. That's the struggles you're going to have now in the mid lane. Ooh, waiting it out very patiently was going to be Kill, but it's enough to get out the flash. Happy with just the summoner.
Did we just not communicate? Like, I feel like Quad should know that Keel could come from behind him like that.
Right.
I don't know. That I find that flash, that whole situation shouldn't have happened. But at the end of the day, Quad doesn't have flash. And something I always say about champs like Victor and Cassiopeia, they are me personally, I wouldn't take those champs. And by that I mean, if I was on a team, or coached a team, and they draft Cass, me personally, I wouldn't take that. I tell my jungler to gank this champion on repeat and make them very sad about their lives. And without flash, guess what? You can gank again.
You're not getting away. Very, very susceptible to ganks is going to be Quad for a while. And you know what I like about this is a lot of this was the decision making of Kill. This is the Kill we know. The play in the bot side, realize Shaden lost his flash. Okay, let's go for the invade. Okay, let's get Quad to burn his flash as well. Kill playing early smart game.
And that's pretty much what we've known him for as long as he's been around. He's such an efficient jungler where he paths very well, farms very well, but always has so much impact around the map at the same time. And this is why he was my pick, my personal #2 pick for most valuable prospect last summer. And he's a player who I'm really excited get involved with an LCS organization because that's the kind of player you want to be developing.
And I believe he was 3rd overall in the MVP votes last year
because
as well.
you're all frauds, that's why. But anyways.
Yeah. I mean, he's been given so many praises. I remember Spawn last year, the coach Spawn, not the player, would always hype him up in Twitter.
That's true.
Just giving him a lot of admiration for his
and
play.
Twitch chat.
Speaking of junglers, we got to look at Shaden now because he's setting up for a bot lane play. Ooh, already the handshake's going to come out.
Oh, yeah,
the
there it
focus
is.
Going to be that Kalista, and I'm sorry, doesn't work well against a Poppy. Steadfast Presence will give a kill over to FlyQuest.
And exactly what you alluded to during Champ Select, Eric. This tough bot matchup just got that much tougher. And it's tough even for somebody as efficient as Keel. There's just so much required of him this game. You see the pressure he's trying to apply mid lane, trying to continuously take away these Raptors because he has the timer on the respawn. And also, jungle attention is something you desperately want bot side this game because he can help influence the whole spawn and Kim down array.
And on Kill, you want to step it up. This is the player to do it against. Shaden has already seen that LCS stage before with Evil Geniuses. Even with that Aura falling apart, he's still under a good umbrella. And now putting those hands to work as he's able to start to stifle this bottom lane, which is definitely going to hurt quite a bit for Team Liquid considering how focused in the bottom lane this meta has kind of been.
That's right, and again, Dragon's so important, like I said in last game, and I'm probably going to say every game for the rest of the split until they make some kind of major change. Dragons are crazy strong and broken. They're really all that matters until 20 minutes when the Baron spawns. So having such an overwhelming deficit in the bottom lane, not now, but you'll see it soon, does make things really hard for TLC overall.
Yeah, it's starting to add up. It's not too significant at the very moment, but with enough time, it is going to be more and more frustrating for Spawn to have to play this Kalista. They're still fighting for priority over on this bottom side of the map. You can see they placed Kill, who's going for a little bit of a deeper invade, while Roamer shoves in the mid wave all meanwhile.
It could be a dive. I mean, there is no vision. They don't actually know that he is there, and this is why these map changes have been the bane of red side AD carry's existence.
Oh, here we go.
It's just so easy. Roamer's here as well. Does have that level 6, but they don't want to go for it.
Yeah, the worry is if like Shaden and and Quad are able to follow up, you're going to give so much back over to FlyQuest if this goes awry. And they took a little bit too long to actually get the setup. Happy just getting the Scuttle Crab.
Shaden has a splashback. That's what. Nope. Okay, we're all walking away. And yeah, it's too bad. TLC looked like they had an opportunity to go for that dive, and this one's tough because as time goes on, this game gets harder. For the side of TLC, you're basically relying almost entirely on Roamer to build this rocket belt that we often see Nico's build, and just look for these plays where you're disguised as a minion, as your jungler, as any number of things that Nico can disguise yourself of to get that big pop loss of. And that's basically everything you're leaning on right now in that mid to late game. So any early advantage you can get as Team Liquid is very much welcome.
You can see right there, Keel was kind of itching to go after that Dragon Steel. Maybe if he's level 6 and wants to use the ultimate, but not willing to burn the flash to go for that. And what we've been seeing over on this top side is a lot of trading between Jenkins and Surdy. Now Jenkins getting the better half of some of those exchanges, but Surdy still doing well in lane to be ahead in the farm.
Yeah, the Swifties are coming out for Jenkins. He's got a lot of move speed, as Udyr does. And the Bramble definitely makes things harder for Surdy at the moment here. And that's just Udyr matchups. Even when you think you can kill him, turns out you actually can't. And that's just going to be a difficult spot for Surdy to be in for this early game. It does mean that Keel has access to the grubs, excuse me. So that will be something. We'll get him closer to that level 6. And if they get 5 or 6 of them, you will be able to get those little Void Mites to more easily knock down structures.
And that's going to be uncontested. Now inside the jungle is going to be Spawn. Shaden, no steadfast presence to catch Spawn just yet. Instead, it's just defending the red buff.
I love that.
For Team Liquid. And yeah, it's well thought out because you already have the information that Keel is by those Void Grubs.
That's right, and Quad actually has a moment. He's got a wave shove, so that means he is also going to be joining the party. And now, Team Liquid have to walk away from this one. But you can see Chime and Shaden don't want to overstay. And now everyone's just basically going back to their lane assignments and relaxing. I say that though, Shaden's recall, I guess they canceled it. Yeah,
nothing to really
back to what they're doing.
Nothing to really go for on the side of the map, and his entire top camps are up, so needs to head over and path towards that side. Make sure he catches that wave. As we still have a little bit before I believe the next sort of action will go down. I mean, it's 3 minutes before the Dragon Timer. Got to be the next major thing you really choose to contest for. What I do like from this game so far is, more specifically on the top side, it's not just Surdy absolutely bodying Jenkins. Jenkins is holding his own and really starting to get a little bit more priority over towards that side of the lane. So if TL want to go for those 6 scrubs, if they want to get the Ed, and Eddies, and in the mid lane, sudden gank, they caught him in the shop, dude. And with that, it's a kill for FlyQuest.
I'm pretty sure Chime hit him with the arrow. Can't help but notice the enchanted crystal arrow is on cooldown. So, really unfortunate coming through there, but a nice play coming through from FlyQuest. And I mean, this is one pretty easy example of how they're going to be looking for plays. Chime's just going to look for these arrows from an undetermined distance, as they are global. And if you get hit, sucks to suck.
Let's see. I do want to see this. Yep.
He's like, before I recall, real quick.
Let me body this fool.
And bodied he was. It could cost you 2 flashes, but we in this business we call that worth, Eric.
Yeah, very worth. And now Spawn, not in a good spot, needs to get the kill.
Okay.
He's able to get bailed out in time, and Spawn clutches it out. That's why this Renata Callista combo can be oh so deadly. Looking for a little bit more is going to be Chime, but it's far too late. Kimdown gets slowed. Maybe it's not. Chime still bringing in the arrows. We'll chase them back. Now Spawn turns it around, does not pursue. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Quad underneath this tower will find safety, but that's Callista and Renata for you.
Right, and another arrow going through on the bottom side does stop Kimdown's recall, which, I mean, ends up wasting a little bit of his time. Could delay that roam to mid or top. But I have a feeling the play is on that bottom side of the map, Eric, because now You have access to that Nico ult. Keel is level 7 now as well. So you do have that wombo combo that you're hoping for with this draft that Team Liquid have for themselves. So they might be able to actually contest this streak. We do see the mid and jungle of Team Liquid recalling, but they should still be able to make it in time to contest the streak.
Yeah, those are resets to get over towards the dragon and try and get positioning over there. It's FlyQuest to get the first foot, though. Shaden's already clearing out one of the control wards. Trying to push forward is going to be Sajed and Chime. So FlyQuest will have positioning on the dragon. It's going to be up to Team Liquid to push that forward.
Yeah, this is the tough thing, though, about being outranged and backing as late as they did. It's really hard for them to move forward like that without getting poked down by Ashe, by Varus.
Oh.
So it might be a conceded trade.
Oh, there's no flash for Surdy
He's
right
fine.
here. So, not willing to press the ghost just yet, neither of them. Surdy gets a little bit low. His teleport's going to come off cooldown pretty soon. Same thing with Jenkins if they do want to get involved in some of these Drake shenanigans.
I don't think either of them will. If we see a contest coming through from TL, I could see Surdy showing up because you do want to keep up this Drake pressure going as a side of FlyQuest. But I have a feeling it's just going to be conceded and everyone's going to walk away from this one, which is unfortunate for Team Liquid because, again, you're looking to get more of an advantage in this early game, but things are almost perfectly even.
And to keep in mind, Team Liquid did get the first spawn of the Void Grubs. Now headed over for the second spawn. This might mean a full clear coming out for Keel. Or if that was actually the... No, that was the final Void Grub of the first spawn, if I remember correctly. So still has 3. There'll still be more spawning later, but now here we go with the dive over in the bottom lane. Chance Crystal Arrow's going to land.
Got him.
Looking to turn it around as Quas brings in the Fangs. Out comes the Petrifying Gaze, but Keel looks away right behind him. Nothing personal, bro. Slammed into the wall, but the fate will need denied as Kim Down gets pushed right back in. Spawn pushed away. Kim Down with the handshake. Roamer is there, and they're chipping away. It's going to take a little while, but with enough effort, they'll take down Shaden.
There's so much going on there. I think Keel may have gotten another pick in the process. He did. He ended up chasing down, I want to say it was Sajed, but either way, some much needed kills and suddenly an injection of 1,000 gold into your pocket here. So that is a good example of how these fights are going to work out for Team Liquid. You get Keel a reset, and he's able to turn that into more. It was a really broken up fight and not a straight up 5v5 that we'd expect, but still, gives you a little bit of a blueprint. Yeah.
And it's going to bode well in 3 minutes, 30 seconds when Team Liquid want to actually start contesting for these Drakes. Because now, look, you got the Hex Belt on Nico. You have income going on that Nico as well. Keel's doing pretty well, so if they can get positioning, Nico especially is a huge threat in these Dragon Pits.
Absolutely, especially with the way you can disguise yourself and suppress the first part of the channel of that Pop Blossom. And now, this is really... I laughed earlier because Chime, because of the hostile takeover, was forced to hit a ward. But really what matters here is the fact that Kim Down had held the release of the Ballista ultimate until the very last moment to make sure both of them weren't knocked away. And it took a while, but that was what guaranteed the kill onto this Pop.
It took me a second to remember what that ultimate was called, by the way, because you have the Fate Sealed on Yone and her.
Yeah, that's almost what I said.
Yeah. All right, Chance Crystal Arrow able to land on the kill slammed against the wall. Shaden's able to find it. The bailout will not bail out Kill, and it's a simple pick. Chime landing these arrows from across the map.
Oh, wow. Nice route to save the day, but yeah, ultimately, until we see something like... unless it lands on Spawn, who has Cleanse, or we see the Mikhails come through from Kim Down, an arrow from Chime, especially from that distance, it's almost always going to end up being a kill. Because of just how long you're stunned for, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it does scale up with the range, so it's so miserable when you're caught out by it. You can see it right there. Sajed finds an opportunity to use Chain of Corruptions, does burn out that flash from Kim Down. We still have 2 minutes for the Drake, so this is where tracking a lot of these summoner spells is going to be very important. Still expecting TL to try and go for some kind of contest, but if not, that's going to be a lot of pressure once Dragon Soul does spawn.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm really hoping that this is where they make their stand. And at this moment, you can see Kim Down and Keel syncing up, trying to clear out vision and get some kind of control on this side. But right now, Keel is in trouble again.
Yeah, Keel can't be caught out like that. That's his ultimate going to be burnt. Should have his flash up a little bit later, but that is a big cooldown now ticking away. And that comes from the positioning coming out from FlyQuest. They're setting up around this Drake beautifully and now pressuring the bottom lane on top of it. Another arrow comes out. They focus towards spawn. Top laner is going to show up as teleports are channeled. Now jumping in is Jenkins right onto Chime. Bleeds him down so damn quickly. Quad is here. And a double kill as the sword slices down from Surdy.
Oh, it's huge. It was numbers advantage from the start. And Surdy, Kim down.
Oh, Kim down. This area of the map's not safe. Ooh, does get some distance, so not going to lose his life over, but Surdy's so damn big, man.
Still, the turret is out of the picture, and that gold lead team Liquid had, it's gone. Just like that, puffed up into smoke, and it all started with Keel getting chunked out and caught for the second time this game in this bottom side jungle. They take this opportunity, and they don't even hesitate, Eric. Honestly, pretty decently well played from Spawn and Kim down. But, again, the numbers were never in your favor. Quad is coming, Surdy is coming. All members of FlyQuest Challengers showed up to the bot lane.
Showed up, and they destroyed. All while Dragon is spawning oh so soon. 8 seconds on that timer, and you get another influx of gold that puts it back into the favor of FlyQuest. But it's TLC who are trying to get their first foot here. They're fighting for priority. Spawn clearing that last wave and now moving over. It might be a little bit too late because Shaden's already set up and Kim down gets dropped. Another teleport comes through and TLC are heading for the hills.
So no enchanted crystal arrow. Keel is going to be able to walk out, and walk out is pretty much all he's going to get. They're going to posture, but they ultimately will walk away from this Drake. It is too dangerous with what you've already lost, and you're just going to have to hope that you'll be able to contest the Dragon Soul in 5 minutes' time. But so far, this early game, although it was a little slow and back and forth, ultimately has come out in FlyQuest's favor. Oh, I got a lot more.
Ooh, another slam coming out from Shaden. And you can see the damage that Shaden's starting to do on this Poppy. It's really beginning to add up. Pop Blossom, they find the mid laner. Quad's in trouble. Petrifying Gaze goes out. Quad's still alive,
Not enough damage.
Shawshed is able to grab kill. Roamer falls, and Quad will live.
Oh, I think this is the beginning of the end, Deserex. FlyQuest, they are just winning at every turn. Even the plays that look good for a moment there, you're starting to see the difference in wallets for TLC and FlyQuest. It wasn't much gold to begin with, but it was the difference between a 1-item spike and a 2-item spike coming through here. And now, FlyQuest Challengers have gotten really strong on the map, and as we approach the 20-minute mark, we're 4 minutes away from their Dragon Soul, and it's looking like they're going to get it.
Looking so good right now, man. And the way they do a lot of these plays, it's so surprising that Quad's able to survive. A lot of that was time bought by the Petrifying Gaze stun.
And, I mean, a lot of it here is just the fact that you went Seraph's Embrace, you went Rod of Ages, so you're actually pretty tanky. You have a good amount of health to play with on top of that shield. So it means that this Cassiopeia is not the best target, at least at this point, if you're hoping to blow somebody up very quickly.
It's a Giant's Belt.
Yeah, it's probably going for a Rylai's after. So you got to imagine Quad is going to be pushing 3k health pretty soon.
So much health, it's not the target to burst down. Sajed, maybe. Chime, maybe, but definitely not Quad. As now, what was a 1k lead for TLC about 5 minutes ago has now ballooned into 4k for FlyQuest this time. And they're already dancing around a lot of these objectives. They've already taken a lot of that vision and pushed it forward. And now they're looking to do it on the Baron side.
Yeah, and they have every right to, just given how strong they are on the map. And another thing that's so hard, kind of like the last game, they could pretty much start the Baron anytime they want, Eric. And this is because that not only do they have enough damage that they'll take it very quickly, they have the ability to turn so very well because of the Ashe ultimate, because of the Chain of Corruptions from Sajed as well. So the fact that you can have these great CC tools from a distance where you outrange TLC, it just means that you can take every objective fight you want.
See right here, Vroom Vroom, Keel's gonna be in the Rift Herald. That's gonna result in a mid lane turret going down. Some gold recovered for TLC. as they take advantage of a brief moment. FlyQuest being out of position. It's Kill who's out of position this time. Has to use the ultimate to get out. Slither health remains. Shaden takes him down. Here comes the big flank coming from Big Surdy. And even if you put the Pop Blossom, it's your own teammates that are getting popped by FlyQuest. As Roamer heads for the hills, Surdy will give him the express detour via the gray screen.
Oh, man, now FlyQuest, they can start the Baron, and it'll be uncontested. This gold lead just balloons once again to 5K, and it's going to be more once the Baron gets picked up. This is the beginning of the end, man. TLC feels like they don't have a leg to stand on, and it's really good thinking from Shaden here, and a bit of something unexpected for Keel. You think you're safe here, but because of the way you come out of the Rift Herald, Steadfast Peasants apply, so he gets caught out.
And Shaden was waiting. He pressed it a little bit early just to make sure that anyone else who was trying to help out would not be in the picture. And it's just complete destruction coming out from FlyQuest. Surdy had said earlier, hey, I have a goal. No losses in the NACL. They destroyed Disguise in a 2-1 victory. Now they're looking to do the same to TLC.
And I mean, they'll be well on their way to achieving that specific goal if they do, Eric, because TLC, Disguise, these are two of the top teams from last year, two teams who we still expect to do very well in the NACL overall in spring 2024. And at that point, it's going to be, I expect them to clean the rest of the competition as well if you look at the rest of the teams in the league. Nothing is guaranteed, but chances look good.
It's looking damn good for FlyQuest right now. And what I'm looking at is a Dragon timer. It will be spawning in the next 30 seconds. Shaden sees Kim down, going for the desperation play and brings it to his face. Pop Blossom comes out. It's a lot of damage. From Roamer. It's able to take down the bot lane. Is it enough for TLC? Surdy says no as he starts cleaving away at the remaining members of Team Liquid underneath the tower. Shaden gets a slam against the wall, and here comes Quad. The damage has arrived, and instantly TLC back off. But a great pick coming out from Roamer to find two.
Really sad in the end, though, because that was almost the perfect fight for Team Liquid, and we'll see it if it goes in the replay, but what matters is Keel didn't actually get his passive off, because that's what we said all throughout this early game. That's what I said during Champ Select, and now Keel has a chance to steal the soul, but unfortunately, he's just going to give his life.
Yeah, a little bit too low on the health bar. Quad versus Jenkins. Kim Down's looking to arrive, and Jenkins looks to run away, will be able to escape, but he instead gives the support over. Spawn says, nah, we'll pull him right back and tosses him right back in. The poison will not be enough. Kim Down barely surviving. Now it's Roamer who's going to be fed to the wolves. Barely able to get away from being slammed against that wall. Surdy against Jenkins. You can tell how desperate Team Liquid are, but now they have health bars that are low enough to potentially seek a play. No one else can follow up as they're too low. Spawn, the only healthy member.
That's a tough one. These last two engages, they've looked like almost successful for Team Liquid, but at this point, the wallet diffs are just too big for the side of FlyQuest, and they still, even though they didn't knock down too many turrets with this Baron buff, they still have a lot of gold as a result of the buff, of the fights that they have taken. And this game has pretty much reached the point where it's insurmountable for TLC. Again, that big wombo we saw from Roamer, if Keel gets his passive off, that's the only way.
This is the nightmare scenario that you're handed right now if you're TLC. It's the fact that if you walk out of your base whatsoever, there is a non-zero chance an Ash Arrow is going to hit you in your face, and the rest of FlyQuest are going to jump over that wall and destroy you. Kim Down, unfortunately, the victim of that. And it's not just the Ash Arrows that come out from the Fog of War. It's Shaden Hex splashing in, not afraid to put himself into danger.
And at this point, that's why you have to be careful about walking into Fog. Kim Down walking by himself is really what ended up causing that. The hope is that Keel and Kim Down move together to try and clear up a little vision at a time. But now, FlyQuest, they can just play whatever they want.
They can go after the turret, they can go after Jenkins. Instead, they want to take both. So here we go, Jenkins trying to put on the fancy feet to get away, but it's not happening this time. Or is it? One more auto bailout comes in. It is triggered. Sacha is able to grab one, and it's Surdy who gets the other as he goes dominating, brings it over to Kim Down and pops him. Looks towards Spawn, sends him to his bot lane buddy, and Surdy able to destroy the place. FlyQuest looking for the 2-0 victory to continue the domination.
They're not only looking for it, Eric, they found it. As they are knocking on the Nexus door, nobody is going to be able to stop them. And it's FlyQuest firmly cementing themselves as the best team in this league at the end of week 2.
Absolutely terrifying is this squad. They take it to one of the best developmental teams in Team Liquid Honda Challengers. FlyQuest Challengers cannot be stopped. And they're going to take that 2-0 sweep, 4-0 on the season so far when it comes to games. Got to feel good being undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, FlyQuest really living up to those expectations we set at the beginning of the split here. I know we're only going into the end of week 2, but I think it's very fair to say that these are looking like early favorites for first place, at least in the regular split. We'll see how the rest of the split shakes out. There are going to be plenty of patch changes because we will be on live patch. So nothing is set in stone. But I mean, if you're asking me to bet, it's going to be FlyQuest probably.
I'm very curious how playing on that live patch is, and you know, to get those answers, we're gonna have to throw it over a short break because we'll have Sajed on the other side with an interview, so we can ask him directly. We'll be right back. Introducing the new foot-long sidekicks at Subway. Try the warm and delicious foot-long cookie, foot-long pretzel, or foot-long churro. Welcome back, everyone, to LCS Challengers. We are joined with the victorious Sajed from FlyQuest Challengers. First of all, congratulations on your win. Secondly, I got to jump right into this because this is a very special thing we're dealing with now that the live patch is what's being played on. You only had a few days to adjust to that patch. How was it?
It was a little hectic. I mean, we had to figure out what was meta really fast. I think most teams, from what I saw in the LCS, most teams picked up on what I think and what our team thinks is good. And You know, we didn't have a lot of time in solo queue to prep. I think live patches are really good because I know it's just more fun to me. Be able to play on new patches and just the team that will adapt the quickest can get the advantage.
Yeah, that's true. I wanted to ask you real quick. I mean, you played on a couple of teams before, both amateur and in CLOL, but now you're playing with an LCS organization. So I just want to know, like, what's it been like for you so far playing with FlyQuest Challengers?
To be honest, at first it was pretty hard to adjust because I was going from middle of the pack amateur scrims to scrimming like top NACL teams and really good teams. And to be honest, it's a good thing. It puts a lot of pressure on me to improve. And honestly, since I'm surrounded by such like great players, it's just a really good environment for me just to work on myself mainly and just improve really fast. That's basically what I feel like.
Yeah, you have a really good squad and a really good amount of names around you. I want to ask, between all those players, who is the voice of FlyQuest? Who's doing a lot of the shot calls? Is it Shaden? Because I do notice he's going for like a lot of these early aggressive plays.
Yeah, I think it's kind of everyone, mainly Quad and Sturdy, I'd say, for mid to late game. I think everyone kind of chimes in, no pun intended. And yeah, I say it's mainly everyone but me. I think I don't really have much to say. I think I'm just the ADC. I'm just doing my own thing. I just listen to the calls.
Just gotta click heads,
everyone
right?
Yeah, I don't really do much in the comms department. I think it's mainly everyone, but mainly Quad and Sturdy, I'd say.
So you're new to this level of play. You even talk about the pressures you're dealing with now. But now that you've joined NACL, I just want to give you a chance and tell us in the audience, lay out your goals as a player. What are you looking to improve on in 2024, and what heights are you trying to achieve?
For sure, yeah. I think I want to be the best NACL. I want to go LCS by the end of this year. I think that's should be everyone's goal. I think those are my two big goals for NACL.
All right, before we let you go, do you have any shout-outs you want to give?
Shout out to my brother. He's always watching. And my team. Any of my fans and supporters. Shout out to everyone there.
All right, Sajid, I want to thank you so much for joining us for this interview. I want to wish you the best of luck on the rest of the season. Not that you need it. You guys are already doing absolutely fantastic so far. But we'll see you another time, brother. And we are going to take a moment to throw it over a short break. When we return, we'll get into our second series of the day, Lit versus Supernova.
Thank you.
They said it couldn't be done. They said the world would never accept a cookie this long. Or a churro, and probably not a pretzel either. They also said, under no circumstances should those really long and delicious treats be wildly affordable. To which we said, but we already made them. And they are. Introducing the incredible new foot-long sidekicks. Get one at Subway today.